Plant more trees has become a rallying cry for global leaders and climate activists around the world who see tree planting as a solution for everything from climate change to food security. The growing interest in this area means it is more important now than ever before to consider effective tree planting that benefits the communities and the environment. To do this, the right tree must be planted in the right place for the right purpose. But the problem is, there are still many misconceptions that need to be addressed before the right condition for successful tree planting are met. The scientists address 7-way misconceptions about tree planting and highlight more successful and productive ways of managing these initiatives. Misconception 1. Any seed is a good seed. That is false. Seed quality and sorting is essential for tree planting success. Tree species are composed of many populations that can be widely different with respect to the preference for the right place. Also, some seed sources may have a very narrow range of genetic diversity. Misconception 2. Once the trees are planted, the job is done. It is absolutely false. It is important to move beyond the tree planting to tree growing. The growing means looking at trees as an investment requiring management, protection, and realized returns on that investment. A focus on growing trees for the long term can be particularly beneficial to smallholder farmers who stand to gain the most from realized returns in the form of marketable tree products and ecosystem services. Without this long-term focus, projects risk very low survival rates for seedlings and wasted resources in the long term. Misconception 3. All trees are easy to grow. That is also false. A fundamental misconception is that any tree species can be planted anywhere and will grow easily. Although some smallholder farmers plant native food trees in agroforestry systems to help conserve them and ensure food security, this is not always an effective approach. Many native species are still wild or only partially domesticated, which means they are also under research and that optimal methodologies for farming them have not been developed yet. This can lead to major challenges with germination, propagation, and management. Misconception 4. Planting any tree anywhere is better than not planting a tree at all. It is false. Ecological niches such as grassland exist, and these should not be replaced with trees. A diversity of indigenous trees is also far more likely to restore and support biodiversity than monoculture plantations or plantations with a few species. There are also several niches on farms where farmers can cultivate trees for different uses, including soil fertility enhancement, food and nutritional benefits, and timber and energy, among other things. Misconception 5. Tree planting is a top-down process. It is false. A common misconception is that successful tree planting initiatives should treat community members like employees who take orders from the top. Many people think that once funding from a big donor is secured, their planting project can simply pay farmers to collect seed, pay them to establish project nurseries, and pay them to plant seedlings. That approach disregards the need for small-scale tree planters to have ownership and agency over planting that happens on their land. Misconception 6. Tree planting is the only way to restore degraded land. It is false. The truth is that tree planting is just one of the tools in a well-stocked toolbox of practices. In fact, there are contexts where massive tree planting is the last favorable restoration technique, such as in arid and semi-arid areas, where natural regeneration techniques can sometimes offer more effective and cost-efficient options. In arid and semi-arid areas, aiding soil, water, and livestock management practices increases the chances of success for both tree planting and natural regeneration. Misconception 7. Global environmental crisis can be addressed just by planting trees. It is definitely false. Climate change, biodiversity loss, and food security are complex challenges that require looking at both the causes, for example, what is increasing greenhouse gas emissions, and the context-specific solutions for each. Natural regeneration, as well as efficient farming and livestock management, should also be considered as methods of addressing environmental objectives. Supporting community-led initiatives, following their products and services, and appreciating their efforts through institutional, technical, and financial support is more effective than a single proposed tree plantation.